Lads, we're gonna have a talk before we start. I just gotta get some stuff off my chest again. I don't know how it keeps happening with this series specifically, and I feel like I got some stuff to say before, but we gotta do it again. I'm not having a great day. I gotta be honest. Actually, let me take that back. I was having a great day. I'm no longer having a great day. I decided let's just mess around. Let's go on my phone for a little bit before we end up start recording. Before I had time to really sit down and do anything. And of course, you end up scrolling through Twitter because that's kind of what I spend most of my time doing. And we end up doing that, and then we see some stuff that we don't want to see. We see some spoiler stuff we do not want to see. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. It keeps happening. I don't. The only thing I can think about doing is avoiding using my for you on Twitter, but like my following isn't that interesting, so like I gotta use the for you, right? Like I don't know. I and it's a no. I have every Mushoku Tensei thing muted. I have every word muted, but I forgot to do the fucking hashtag. I forgot the hashtag. It's my fault. It's my fault, isn't it? I don't know. I try and do things. And then the worst part is then I scroll down a little bit more and I get spoiled from another series, and they literally put in the thing spoilers from, and they put like the chapters and stuff, but they don't put the word of the show or the series at all in it. So all the words that I have muted for that other series too don't matter because you don't put it. So I have to see it. I just it's been a very frustrating last 30 minutes. Let me tell you, it's been very frustrating. So the thing about this show that's been spoiled, which I won't even talk about because we're not going to. But the thing that was something that I kind of was already exposed to before. As I've said many times, I know a lot of things I feel like that actually happen in the series, and I just don't know like when and how and a whole bunch of things. But I know a handful of things that actually do occur when it comes to this. So this was one of those that I had seen before, but it wasn't one of those that I was like, I know 100% this happens. It was one of those like, maybe they're just kind of memeing, maybe they're just messing around, maybe they're just saying things that whenever I've seen like one person say that before, and then I think I saw like another person say it, but it wasn't like too like, I don't know. I didn't really trust it too much, right? And then now this tweet just almost like confirmed it. Like I just feel like when I read it, it just didn't feel like it was a joke the way that the others almost felt like they were. That like doesn't make me very happy. It wasn't spoiler about this episode, by the way. I feel like maybe I should have clarified that earlier. It wasn't anything about like something that happens this episode, or like I don't even know like when any of this occurs, but it's still just annoying that it occurs. And I'm not happy because I'm doing a great job. I haven't seen anything from the OP yet, and we had a long discussion about that last week, and many of you contributed to that. Which thank you, I appreciate your feedback and your thoughts and everything. Which we're not gonna watch it. We made that decision. So the only way that I can get spoiled is if something happens again on Twitter, or if one of you guys end up putting it in the comments before I end up seeing it, before I end up seeing the opening, or we getting to that point. So those are the only ways that those things can actually happen. So we're doing good on the OP, but just mad annoying. So I don't know. So if any of that stuff kind of comes about or starts getting to a certain point, I guess we'll talk about it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen here or in like season 5 or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But we'll let things kind of play out. Definitely killed my mood a bunch. I got to be honest. I'm not. It sucks because there's a handful of series that I watch and I don't know a thing about, and they're really popular and I don't know a thing about. But then there's a handful of series that like I just feel like I know way too much, and I wish I didn't. And I've never actively sought these things out. Right? I don't go look for them. I don't look for spoilers or leaks or any of that. I don't. And I try and mute as many words if I'm watching a show ongoing on Twitter. I mute all the keywords. I hide from the stuff. You know, I try and avoid looking out and reading forums and posts and things from people. Try and not engage as much. But like the only way I can do it is if I disengage entirely from social media, and I'm just like, I'm not that kind of person, because I use those things for like so many other things, like a bunch of sports and other things, right? Like, so it's so hard to just disengage from that stuff that it's like it makes it impossible. I mean, I guess I could just remove anime entirely from it, unfollow all my things, and just try and not pay attention. But I don't know. I don't know what the move is. I'm not happy though. It just definitely makes me upset. moving forward, I guess with this episode now, wedding was a success or reception and all that. I don't know. All that stuff's going down. Things were pretty good. I had a great episode last time. I don't know what happens now, but I guess we have to kind of push along a little bit further. And hopefully things are just fun. I've really got no predictions or anything to say. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you're okay with me ranting at the beginning of each of these episodes about something bad that has happened. Hopefully you guys stay away from spoilers if you're animes only, and for any other series that you guys are, even if you have read this. And hopefully everything works out perfect for all you guys. I'm rooting for you. I wish you nothing but the best luck, and hopefully things don't turn out as they kind of do at me. We're gonna try and let things not ruin the experience. I feel like I've done a good enough job. That happened with JJK. I knew like literally everything going into the season, and we still watched it. We still enjoyed ourselves, right? I mean, I don't know if it would have made the experience significantly better had I not known a lot of these things, but it still worked out. I don't know. I didn't feel like it ruined it too much. So I think that we can keep an open eye, and it's more about the journey, you know, than the actual thing that happens. It's just the idea of keeping that in your mind, like, oh, this is going to happen at some point. So like you're just waiting. Like, I don't know. That's unfortunate. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you like it all, the like and subscribe. They mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments with this episode or this series. Let's get going with episode 15. Where are we going? Oh. From the fam? From the fam? That would make the most sense, right? Yeah, let's go!
ルーデウスへ魔法大学に入学するんだってな。おめでとう。ゼニスのことはなんとかなりそうだ。あいつにもよろしく言っといてくれ。俺たちは今イーストポートにいる。これからベガリット大陸へ向かうところだ。
Cool.
ベガリット大陸はマ大陸の次に過酷な土地だ。子連れで渡るにはちとはばかられる。
So you're sending them to us.
アイシャとノルンだけお前のところに送るって案が出た。
Alright.
ある人物と再会した。
Oh?
お前も知ってる人だ。
そうだ。
その人が子供たちの護衛を引き受けてくれるって言うんでお願いした。お前も会ったら驚くと思う。
Or Ryujerd. I think it was.
ノルンはお前やアイシャとは少々違う。お前のことも嫌ってるし、アイシャもあまりな。
Alright, so we got a little work to do with her.
面倒を見てやってほしい。とりあえずそんな感じだ。何でもかんでもお前に任せることになって申し訳なく思っている。
Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere. We got 2 years to pass on anyways.
護衛を引き受けてくれたある人物って誰だろ
う? I have a feeling. I think I know who. Just heard some great news. So the Aisha and Norn stuff is things that I already knew, by the way. I'll let that be known now, that they are going to be coming. But that's just because I've seen the PV that they had for it, and both of them were with Sylvie and Rudy. So that just made the most sense to me.
家族のためだったのかもしれないな。いずれはパウロたちと一緒に暮らしてもいい。それにしても、元ニートが両親を養うか。なんとも感慨深い。
How things have changed, brother.
こうやって帰る場所があって、毎日好きな人と一緒にご飯を食べられるなんて、シルフィーには感謝だな。
Living the dream.
なあシルフィー。
It's what most people want,
何
you
か
know.
俺にしてほしいことないの？
じゃああれ教えてよ。ルディが入学試験の時に使ったあれ。
ああ、ディスタブマジック。
You could definitely help her improve her skills.
教えてあげましょう。
代わりに僕、治癒魔術を教えてあげる。
Oh, perfect.
一応上級までなら使えるしね。
Well, great trade-off.
ありがとう。
他の無栄賞と変わらないと思うんだけど。もしかして術を受けている側の感覚がわからないんじゃない？
力で干渉される側の感覚がない。攻撃魔術なら血流のように感じることができるのだが。
Maybe you gotta say it then. You're normal. Yeah. Back to the basics. Sylphie working with the water magic.
そういえばシルフィー。
Definitely gonna say some shit to lose it.
あ、やっぱり魔術の才能があるのかな。
Or what?
でも僕はエルフの血が濃いからできにくいというか、僕に子供ができなかったらおめかけさんを迎えてもいいからね。
I think he was.
そんなことするつもりはないよ。
Yeah, I think you were already
俺が欲
planning
しいの
to,
は
if we're
子
being
供じゃなく
honest.
て、好きな相手との愛の結晶。
Hell of a line, brother. Hell of a line. This is good too because Aisha and Norn will be good for early raising of children, right? Of people that are younger, give you a little bit of experience. Well, they definitely are more grown, but looking after people who are much younger than you.
ナホシにとっては2年間の集大成だ。
一応この魔法陣が何をするものか聞いてみても。
Just let me do my
異世界
thing.
の物品を召喚するわ。
また転移災害とか起きないだろう。
No, 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 no.
大丈夫よ。理論上はね。
その理論を聞いてみて。
No. Just keep everything from him.
この世界でおかしいことは大抵魔力が肩代わりしているということ。
なるほど。
So everything has a reason behind it. It makes
岩が
sense.
出現するのは、辺りの魔力を岩に変化させているのか。
It's like the science behind it all, you know? Nothing's just a miracle.
何かおかしい。
What are we summoning as
魔
well?
法
Just
陣
something
の光り
random?
方に滞りがあるような。
Oh. Damn. Years of hard work to nothing.
失敗ね。 今日はもう帰ってもいいわ。
Back to the drawing board.
こういうこともあるさ。
Yeah, best to leave her alone
ナ
here
ホシは
too.
ここ最近
Probably doesn't want to be
随分と張
comforted
り詰め
either.
てた。この失敗はかなり響いているんじゃないだろうか。
I mean, it's years on end of fucking something that she wants so desperately, you know?
おい、大丈夫か？
Despair.
お前、ちょっと頑張りすぎたんだよ。
I mean, yeah, she wants to go fucking home, brother. Did you put her mask back on her at least?
ザナバ、
いかがなされましたか？
七星はやばい。助けてくれ。
病気ですか？
似たようなもんだ。
Mentally
な
ill.
らばまずは医務室へ運びましょう。彼女は好きで研究をしていたわけではなかったのですな。
そうだな。
Nope.
グランドマスター、顔ひどい。
こういう時に一人にするのは危険だ。
それがよろしいでしょうな。
ザナバ、家まで運ぶのを手伝ってくれるか？
喜んで。
グランドマスター、何ですか？
なんでもない。ジュリー、ザナバによくしてもらってるか？
はい、マスターにはご飯たくさん食べさせてくれます。
Perfect.
そうか。マスターはご飯をたくさん食べさせてくれます。だな。
Perfect situation for her to be in, right?
ちゃんとご飯を食べていたのだろうか。
Probably not.
好きなものを誰かと一緒に食べるだけで立派な精神安定剤。
But she's isolated herself, so she doesn't have any of that. No, absolutely not.
俺は彼女のことをほとんど知らない。同じ日本人で秘密を共有してるのに。
Well, that's because she's so into what she's doing, you know? She's so focused on one thing. She never allows herself to be open for any given reason.
相当疲れていたみたいだね。一応中魔術をかけておい着替えさせた時に。作業用のかもしれないけど。
一応預かっておくよ。
大丈夫です
Gotcha.
か？サイレント殿は。
Normal reaction, I think, to to Abler, especially when somebody's having a moment like that, right?
いつもお世話になっておりますからな。師匠の方こそ大丈夫ですか？
なんでだ？
今のサイレント殿のような顔色をしております。
無気力になって閉じこもったことがあった。
And you see yourself in that, and you don't want that
わ
to
からん
happen.
感覚ですな。
So you gotta do what you can
で
for
も
her,
俺
right?
はわかる。少し境遇が違えばああなっていたのは俺だったかもしれない。
とにかく
I love how Julie's always there for us.
待ってください。
力だけは有り余っておりますので。
頼むよ。
What a guy.
風呂も沸かすぞ。心の選択っていうし。
She wants to go home. It's not things like that, you know? It's not the little things. She just wants out.
なんかあったら呼んでくれ。
どうしてもあの一点回路がつながらなかった。物理的に無理なのよ。つまり私は家に帰れないってこと。
Reach out a helping hand, right? He's gonna take it upon himself here, but opening up and asking that of others, you never know what you'll get out of them, right? Somebody might know something. Somebody might be able to find something, you know? Never close yourself off for those things.
まあ解決できなくてもいいさ。逆に分野が違えば出てくるアイデアも違うだろうし。
Right.
あっちとこっちがこうなってるから。これは難題だな。一から書き直せば。いやでも。
It'd be easier to follow, but at the same time, it's so complex. It's too much to do.
ではないですか？
多重構造？何の話だ？
世の研究をしている人形はいくつもの魔法陣を重ね合わせることで一つの効果を生んでいる。とはいえ、世も研究を始めた
So I don't know for
まともに
sure.
魔法陣など描いたことはないのだが。
待て。
But it could be worth
人形って
it.
そこにあるこの間のやつか。
Yes.
これを作ったやつは天才だな。こんな魔法陣。
Whoever built this would almost have the ability to figure this out themselves, right? And would be able to summon these things and send things wherever they want.
全部揃ってないとうまく動かない。でも折れているのに動いていたし、なんだこの魔法陣は。
世もま
Why are they so fucking complex?
意地の動きを制御するための魔法陣であるらしい。
はいはい。天才のあなたにもすぐ理解できますよ。
Thank you, Linalis.
けど可能性はあると思う。
I mean, shit, we might as well give it a shot at it. We've got years on end here, right? Actually, we're trying to make it quick for her. Make the ill woman use all of her brain power once again. My favorite strategy.
できるかも。そうか、そうか、そうか。何も平面にこだわる必要なかった。そうね、そうよ。紙に描いたって厚みは出るのよ。積層させればどれだけでも大きな魔法。
The scary thing about this is her getting herself hyped up just for the possibility it doesn't work again. You know, that's the really scary part here. What comes after the fact.
あ、そっか。あなた賢いわね。
There you go.
当然だ。
The helping hands of others, right?
じゃあこれはどうする？
Don't let it all fall on yourself, and there's plenty who are willing to help you through things. If you can reach out and not isolate yourself. Sometimes you can't do it alone. Sometimes you need somebody else to pull you out from that darkness, right? Or at least be there. This is fun. All of them working together. Just sleeping together. Giving everything they got. I like it. We get a really cool design as a result. Multiple layered through each other, too. Hold on. Shield your eyes, Julie. Things are happening. We got a bottle. We're in. We're in. We're in business.
あ、すごいですな。
なんだこれは。ガラスか？
No, plastic.
もっと柔らかい。
たかがペットボトル。
よし。
されどペットボトルだ。
成功ですね。
これでようやく次の段階に進めるわ。積層構造の魔法陣、これを突き詰めていけば、おそらくどんなものだって召喚できるはず。
I can have food again.
ギブアンドテイクでしょ。
Mm-hmm.
今度僕が困った時に助けてくださいよ。
もちろんよ。
今日はパーッと祝いましょう。もちろんあなたのおごりで。
しょうがないわ。
Why is he here? He didn't do anything. He didn't do it. He didn't help. I love his collabs. Well done. Congratulations on everything.
ありがとうございました。
And now she gets to enjoy her meal with others, right? And it all comes full circle.
周りの奴らに助けられたらきっと嬉しくて喜びを分かち合うために騒ぎたくなるんだろう。たまには全てを忘れないと到底生きてはいけないのだ。
Cool.
人生は辛いことばかりだからな。
I thought I was finally gonna get to watch the Edo. Next week. Next week. They've arrived.
なるんねが道間違えるからこんな時間になっちゃったじゃん。アイシャだってあっちで間違いないって言ってたし。お兄ちゃん、会いたかった。
ルーデウス。
The fucking boy. The boy.
久しぶりだな。
はい、お久しぶりです。ルイジェルドさん。
I think it's great to get a lot more Nanahoshi focus and moments between her and Rudy here, and allowing him to kind of understand the luxury, I guess, that he has, the how fortunate he is, for being able to have the people that he's kind of built around him, this cast of people that he's built around, in the position that he's found himself in this world. As, I mean, from their first meeting that they had, them talking about how much that she wants to leave and he doesn't want to. That's why I think it came as like a little weird of a surprise to me that it was so difficult for him to grasp the idea that she really doesn't fucking want to be here and she gets no joy out of this. Like, that's why, like, when he was mentioning, like, oh, I guess she really doesn't, like, it was like, yeah, no shit. Like, I thought that was pretty obvious from the first meeting, but I guess that's not the case. I guess he really didn't understand that. But now being able to translate all this and understand fully that she really doesn't want to be here, and that all these things and all these luxuries that you've kind of had now of being able to build a family and start over again and give everything a new chance and find purpose in your life, and even when things got really low, finding that you do have these people around you who do care for you and are trying and, you know, just helping and doing whatever that they can so that you are living and that your life doesn't end, right? Worrying about you to that extent and allowing you and to see that light and pull you back into it. She doesn't have that, right? He can finally start realizing that a little bit. And I think it really took him till he ends up seeing the knife that she ended up having, the caution that he ends up having, because he's been in that position, right? I mean, we literally saw him pull his own out at a certain point before Soldat had to come in and actually save him, right? So it's a thing where he sees, and while we don't know if that was an intention at all coming from her, and honestly, I don't know if it was, and we can only speculate, really. But the idea that she even had it really just scares him, of course, because he doesn't want to have to see somebody else in a situation like that, especially because things are going so well for him now, right? He sees the way that things can change for somebody, so being able to kind of put things together, put a plan together a little bit here, make things a little bit even between the two, you know, after she was able to help him come back to life here, put her in a position where she's able to kind of get back on her own feet, and extend that helping hand, which I think is awesome. It was great to be able to bring everybody together, for her to finally start understanding a little bit, like, you don't need to close yourself and box yourself in here, and put up all these walls around you and hide who you are and do all this stuff. Like, we can openly just work together with others. There's plenty of people who are willing to listen and willing to work with you, and it's so difficult sometimes to figure everything out on your own, having to separate yourself, and allow others to come in, or being able to view things from different viewpoints and stuff is so important, to bounce ideas off of each other and figure a whole bunch of shit out. Like, it's such an important thing. So being able to get somebody like Cliff, who clearly knows a lot about this and was very helpful along the way, allows for things to work pretty well for us, right? It gets her to a point and to think of something and to find something that she never has able to find so far, and it allows things to really expand for her and puts us in this position where now we're able to finally be able to work together with everybody and successfully summon something from the other world, which gives her that hope that she needs, the thing that she completely was completely lost on and thought that she lost everything at that point, thought that it was all over. We're able to actually get that at the end, and we can have a celebration for it. I think it was really good too. It expanded what we kind of know about magic circles and everything, and expanded like the layering and all that stuff, which I think is pretty dope. Am I going to remember absolutely everything in those specifics and stuff? Probably not, but it's nice that they at least they touch on that and they expand on the system and everything a bunch more, and it also gives us understanding of where she's at progression wise of what she's trying to do, and how this is just the first phase of really what she's kind of going after, and it definitely expands us a little bit more on her and understands that there might be hope, right? We might be able to get to that point where we can return her at some point, and even if we do get to that point, we're going to have to see Rudy also faced with the option of being able to go. While we know that he likely doesn't want to end up going back, we can at least end up getting to a point at some point in the future, I'm assuming, where he definitely has to make a decision here. Like, okay, I can go back or I can't, right? Or this is what I want, or this isn't what I want. Having to make that choice, I think. And I think all of that's pretty cool. We end off with Aisha and Norn showing back up, and they will now be living with us, of course, because Paul is now set off, right? He is going to look for Zenith here. He has his entire squad of people assembled. They're looking for her. They're going to a very dangerous place, the second dangerous place that they're going to end up having to go to. And who knows? I mean, this was clearly an older letter that we end up receiving. I mean, it takes forever for these things to kind of come forward. I mean, we got the letter and like a couple days later, here we are, and they're already showing up when we know how far that they actually are. So he might even be exactly at the location that he needs to be. We have absolutely no idea. But awesome that they are coming with us. This will work good for the conversation we had about kids and all that stuff with Sylphie, because this helps us work with people who are much younger, and clearly two sisters who don't get along. We can actually benefit from learning a little bit about why each of them are the way that they are, and how to kind of bring them closer together and how to get them to interact with people. And Rudy can put a lot of his experiences and issues that he's kind of had with other people in the past, and he can put all of that into play, while Sylphie can also do that. I mean, Sylphie's gone through a lot of trauma with like bullying and a bunch of things too, so I'm certain that she can be able to help us along the way too. Somebody like Rudyard, who's able to come in here now and actually came along with them, which was a great familiar face to see. I mean, that's who I was just making the assumption. It almost made sense when they were hinting a little too hard at it, but it's awesome for us to be able to get him back and have him along the way. Of course, they have this strong protector who can help them, and I'm assuming even he can teach them lots of things, and he can help them, right? He's somebody who's gone through a lot of things over his life too, being kind of discriminated against for who he is, and kind of isolated and pushed away from many other people, right? And struggled to get along with people over time too, and having these disagreements. I mean, we've seen the arguments and the ways that he's not really willing to back down at certain points about a lot of things that he believes in and everything, the way that he feels. A lot of this stuff can all be kind of applied and kind of taught in a way, or try to be taught in a way to kind of maybe make Norn get along better with people, but we don't know enough about her, right? We don't know why this is the case. Is she just a kid who, for whatever reason this is happening, has she gone through some stuff? Has she seen some things, right? Like, I don't know her whole situation. We don't know what happened with her and Paul beforehand, where they were going, right? Like, we don't know any of that. So there could be some things that have led to why she's kind of acted the way that she does, but she doesn't like Rudy, and we do know that. So that's going to be a bit of a curve for her to get through, but family life will begin here at some point, which I think is pretty dope. The letter is the first thing that we kind of open with here, and that's where we learn about basically everything that I just talked about. We inform Sylphie of a bunch of the stuff that's kind of going on, cute dinner and everything between them, great conversation, I would say. And of course, we want to help each other out, so we have to learn magic with each other, and we're going to each teach each other things. Rudy cannot get this, so I don't know. You can correct me here. I believe from what I was seeing is he can probably do this. He's just struggling to do it the way that he always does. So he might be able to do this, but he's going to have to learn the incantations and everything to possibly be able to do it. But he is struggling, and it's very difficult for him to actually learn the healing magic that he's trying to learn here. And that's why Sylphie's kind of like happy about that almost. Not because he can't do it, but more so in the way of like, it shows that you are a little bit human. It shows that you're not like this like crazy OP person who can like do absolutely everything like easily first try, like no problems, right? Like there's definitely that learning curve and that struggle that he's going to have to go through, and it kind of reassures her a little bit too. Sylphie's struggling once again. It's fun using like the water and all this as well. Basically how we kind of first went through this when we were teaching her when she was younger as well. Nanaho's so excited to actually learn this and figure out if she can summon things, thinking that this is the chance that things are actually going to work here, ultimately to have a failure completely destroyed by it, and then basically pushes somebody else away again, right? She wants to be alone in this moment. I mean, rightfully so though, in this moment, like I would want to be alone too. I don't want anything to do. Rudy struggles and doesn't really know how to handle this, or like what he should say or should he act. But should he have been like, you know, you get him next time, like probably not. That's not the most like encouraging thing to say, but at the same time, what do you do in that situation, right? You got to just kind of give her space. Like you can't like, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit difficult. She completely loses her mind here and breaks down. The voice actress does an excellent job at selling this. I gotta say, I don't love the sequence though. And I feel like I'm going to be the only person who says that, but I really didn't enjoy the sequence itself, because it just felt almost when you're like in a rage moment, right? Outside of the close-up shot that we get on her face where her like mouth is like open, I didn't like feel like complete anger or anything really coming out of her. I see it like when we get like a shot like this, of course, but a bunch of the other ones, like of her like picking up things and throwing things, like I would expect like a lot more like faster, quicker cuts, like things that are like more explosive almost, of you like really feeling that energy, but everything was like animated like in real time, what it kind of felt like, and you felt like the weight of the things that she was like picking up and like how she was like hitting things and all that. And like I didn't really feel that impact, if that makes sense, of how she was doing it. But her voice actress does such an excellent job at going so over the top here of being able to sell this to a complete another level. And then they do a great job for the remainder of the series of really selling the faces and everything that she has here, of how far gone she kind of is at this moment and how like lost or at a loss she feels. So I think that they do an excellent job after the fact. I just for whatever reason, I'll have to rewatch it and see if I'm feeling the same way. We take her out here, of course. Julie looks on, doesn't know how to feel either. A little bit cautious here about how Rudy feels, because Rudy sees this lashing out and rage almost in somebody, and then the look of despair that he sees on her, kind of the reflection almost amongst himself, and he sees that once again when he ends up finding the knife that she ended up having. Like all these things, of course, are bad traumatic memories kind of coming back for him, and then it makes you cautious. Like I don't want to see that happen to somebody else either, especially somebody like her, so I have to figure out exactly what to do. Cute moment with him and Julie here as he looks on and he's a little worried about what to do next. But of course, in this moment when he feels lost again, and he openly can express that to other people now and also let them know about the things that he's gone through before, and he sees that in her, but he doesn't know exactly what to do, the others come forward and they're like, I have strength to spare, I can help out, I can do this, I'm willing to do whatever it is that I can. So of course we end up assembling the entire squad to kind of help out here at this point, and we basically expand a lot with magic, understanding things a bunch. We get a whole group of people who actually, some that know what they're doing, some that really don't, but it all works out perfectly, right? There are people who are willing to help you. There's people who are intrigued by the similar things that you are too, and would like to work on things along the lines too. There's some people who might even be fucking smarter than you, right? And can figure all these things out. So there's plenty of ways that we can kind of go here. At this point, we're able to learn a lot of stuff too about how complex and really special this doll is that Zena was kind of looking at, and the person who basically worked on it being so like just a genius, right? This person just screams to me as I can summon things and do absolutely everything I want. And now the more I thought about it too, after the episode that we had with it, and they were like, yeah, he's probably dead because like he wouldn't just like leave this thing behind and do all that stuff. It's like maybe he would though, you know? Somebody who is extremely strong and like able to do all these things, like maybe he would leave that behind. Maybe he would be okay because he's smart enough and he's capable of making a new one, or maybe one that's more improved than this. He's capable of clearly so much that he might be out there. He might be somebody that we're going to encounter at some point. He might be somebody we should be very cautious of. I don't know. But it definitely leaves me a little concerned there. We're able to bring Nanahoshi here and spark some life back into her when she sees that this possibly could work. Of course, you see the instant change in expression, how excited she ends up becoming here and ready to go right back to work here. I mean, this is the entire her life that she's kind of been through, right? She got here, she hates everything about it. She spent all of her time learning, how do I get out of this place that I absolutely hate? So the moment that something fails, of course, she's going to completely lose her mind. Of course, that all this kind of sucks. She doesn't want to be here. So of course, the moment that you spark a little bit of hope back in her here, it immediately lights her up because she doesn't want to be here. She doesn't want to do this. And she also thought that all of that was kind of lost. So of course, like a little bit of something, and she sees something from a different perspective here. Finally works. I like us all like kind of sleeping over and constantly working together. And we finally can get this to work. We end up bringing a bottle into this universe, plastic, something that they're not familiar with at all, which is a great success for her to actually have. She's very excited. Phase 2 can begin. Of course, we can move on to something great, right? We can actually actually have this opportunity. And it gives her that hope that maybe I can go home at some point if I keep working at this and things are working. And it opens up plenty, because we've talked about earlier where Rudy was like, I wonder if she, you know, eats properly. I wonder if she spends any time with friends, or actually has proper meals with them or something, or can do things to relieve the stress that she's kind of going through. It's like, no, absolutely she doesn't, because she isolates herself from everybody and pushes them away. So being able to be that person now that can bring everybody together, as we, I mean, saw the last time too, with having everybody from the wedding and everything come together, we end up seeing that once again here, and this works out perfect. We can bring everybody together. We can help her have somebody, or have a bunch of people that she can kind of work around or be with here, and she can feel a little bit more at ease and can have some fun and be a little bit more relaxed in this moment, which is great. And also there's plenty of people who helped her out, and while she says that they're even and everything, they might be willing to extend that hand has she need it at some other point again in the future, and that's a perfect thing for her to kind of see. We send her joy off with a ED song, which is very sweet, and then we arrive back home as our sisters basically come back. And we have a little bit of a surprise of somebody special that we haven't seen in a while come back, which is pretty great. Although it's only been like 13 episodes, so it hasn't been like too long. But it's been a while since we've seen them, so it's been a while for them in their world. For us as viewers, maybe not as much, but still awesome nonetheless for us to be able to get him back. And there's plenty of ways that we can go with it. I'm not really going to theorize and talk about all that. We're just going to kind of let it unfold and let it happen. But there's plenty of ways that we can go, and I'm excited to see how that happens. I didn't get to see the ED again. We're definitely going to watch that. Just didn't end up appearing here, and I'm assuming that's not the song, because I heard like the first like second of it when it started last time, and it didn't sound the same. So I'm going to assume that we're going to there's a different song and visual and stuff I can look at probably come next week. But we move into family life with a bunch of people next week, and I'm very excited to see how that goes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, I'll hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos on the channel. If it comes with this episode or series, I'll be back for episode 16 as the Grey Rat family comes together once more, even bigger than it was prior. And I'm very excited to see how that works. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.